Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, a plan that wants to use technology not to win a war, but to actually stop one right from the trenches. This is the story of the Truce Project.
I want you to just imagine for a second. You're a soldier, you're stuck in a freezing trench, and you're surrounded by the constant, terrifying sound of drones and shelling. And then you see something floating down from the sky. It's not a weapon. It's a small package on a purple parachute, and inside is a clear cell phone. It's an offer, a chance to talk.
And that's the big question here, isn't it? This is the whole idea behind the Truce Project, which you might also see called #GrokDrops. It's this radical notion that you can bypass all the high-level politics and just give a direct line of communication to the person shivering in a hole a few hundred yards away from you.
Okay, so to really get why this idea is so urgent, we have to look at the grim reality it's trying to disrupt. And that is the absolute nightmare of modern trench warfare. The situation this project is designed for, based on the source material from late 2025 and early 2026, is a conflict that's become a total meat grinder. The lines on the map barely move, but the human cost is just astronomical. And what you have is this deep, profound exhaustion on both sides. And this is the real cost, measured in human lives. Every single day, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 soldiers are either killed or wounded. These are people caught in a deadlock, fighting over land that, ironically, is often part of a shared history. Sometimes they're literally fighting distant cousins. This quote just nails it. It gets right to the heart of the problem. The people who are actually facing death every second have no safe way to signal that they just want to pause. They are completely trapped in a communication vacuum, and they're just as scared of their own commanders as they are of the enemy. There's no way to express that shared basic human desire to just survive. So if the problem is a communication vacuum, how do you fill it? Well, the idea is to literally drop a solution from the sky. This peace kit is a mix of high-tech and, believe it or not, low-tech tools, all designed to build just enough trust to open that channel. First, let's talk about the hardware. These are not your average iPhones. They're military-grade, built to take a beating. Now, the transparent case? That's genius. A soldier can pick it up and see instantly that it's not a bomb, it's not a booby trap. Then you've got Starlink for a connection that can't be easily jammed, and a Faraday bag, which is absolutely crucial. It gives the soldier total control. They can go completely off-grid in an instant to make sure they're not being tracked. And if you were to turn it on, this is what you'd see. The whole thing is designed to be dead simple. One app, one purpose. Connect you to your counterpart on the other side with real-time translation so you can actually understand each other. But here's where it gets really clever. This isn't just about translating words. It's a whole system called hypercontextual communication. The idea is to use an AI, like Grok, as a neutral semantic referee. Its only job is to make sure both sides don't just hear the words, but they actually understand the intent behind them. It's all about preventing those deadly misunderstandings. So how in the world does an AI referee a truce? Well, it's not about politics. A soldier just states what they need. That's their intent vector. Something simple like, I need to get my wounded friend out of here. Then they state their limits, the constraint map, like, but I can't abandon my post. The AI takes this info from both sides, analyzes it, and finds the overlap, that little window where cooperation is possible, maybe to create a safe corridor for an evacuation. Of course, tech is only one piece of the puzzle. You need a visual symbol, right? Something simple. You can't use the red cross. That's legally protected for medical personnel. And a white flag? Well, that means surrender, which is not what this is about. So the project proposes something new, the purple standard. It's a totally unofficial, grassroots signal that just means, hey, I'm part of this. It's safe to talk. And you know what's really smart? They have a backup plan. What if the phones fail? The parachutes themselves are a communication system. They're printed with patterns from universal maritime signal flags. So a specific pattern could signal something like, we need medical assistance, visible clear across no man's land. It's a really robust, layered approach. So when you put all of these pieces together, the tech, the symbols, the protocols, what's the grand strategy?
It's about creating an emergency line for humanity itself. It's designed to bypass the entire political and military chain of command and go straight to the source.
This slide just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. Think of it as neighbors versus lawyers. The soldiers are the neighbors. They're the ones suffering, and they share a basic interest in just staying alive. The politicians are the lawyers, working from a safe distance, often focused on bigger, more abstract goals.
While the lawyers get tangled in peace talks that can be all smoke and mirrors, this project aims to install a direct emergency phone line between the neighbors.
Now, if this all sounds a little too futuristic, a little too sci-fi, get this. The core human instinct behind it is over a century old. The Christmas Truce of 1914 proved, without a doubt, that when soldiers get a chance to talk directly, their shared humanity can literally stop a war, even for a little while. The Truce Project is all about giving that same human impulse a modern technological backbone.
So this isn't just some academic thought experiment. The source material frames this as an incredibly urgent proposal. It's a direct call to action aimed at the very few people on Earth who could actually make this happen.
And this is the message at the heart of it all. It's a direct appeal, arguing that existing technology, Starlink and the AI Grok, could be used to implement this plan right now. The argument is that even a small 24-hour pilot program could potentially save hundreds of lives.
Because the ultimate goal here isn't one single grand peace treaty signed in a fancy room. No, it's about sparking thousands of tiny individual conversations. The hope is that these small acts of communication could create a chain reaction, a cascade of local truces that build so much pressure from the bottom up that the high command simply can't ignore it.
At the end of the day, the Truce Project argues that shared understanding is the most powerful technology we have. The material behind this explainer was created to be amplified, to be spread. So the final question it really leaves for all of us is, who can you share this with? Who do you know that might help get this message to someone who could actually make it a reality?